When we get to the new normal, make sure that you don't commit this critical mistake. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And today we're going to talk about avoiding a critical mistake. It's important to know what to do and what not to do. You know, today we find ourselves plagued with the invisible virus, and certainly there's not a whole lot we can do about that. But you know what? There's another virus that goes around that you can't get a shot for, there's no vaccine for. It's something that only you can do to protect yourself. And it's the virus known as procrastination. So many people limit what they can do because they procrastinate. And what is the solution to procrastination? Well, first of all, we already talked about having your quiet thinking time, visualizing your goal, your objective. That gives you the impetus to move forward. But a lot of people, even though they have that desire to move forward, don't move forward because they can't see the finish line of achieving what it is that they're trying to achieve. This is the critical mistake that you must avoid. So the key point here is you must get to the starting line. You must get to the starting line. That is, once you do that, believe it or not, you're halfway home. Why? Because you've done something, and when you do something, when you make a move, it starts to develop momentum. And a body in motion is much easier to move forward than a body at rest. So you've got to take a step. It doesn't matter how small that step is, but take a step all the time. Take a step. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this and why it will work for you. First of all, let's talk about football, America's favorite game at this moment anyway. What do most coaches do? They script out the first 15 plays. Why? Because it gives the team momentum. It gives them some sort of a game plan. It gives them a direction to go. Now, if during the course of the game something happens, okay, either good or bad. Let's suppose you're scripting your first 15 plays and you score 3 touchdowns and now the score is like, 21-0. You change your game plan a little bit. Why? You don't put the ball in the air so much because then you can turn the ball over, so you run the ball more. Makes sense, right? Or on the other hand, let's suppose you're down 21-0. What do? You got to start putting the ball in the air, don't you? You got to start really going to try and get the ball to be turned over to you, don't you? You follow what I'm saying? So you have a game plan, but you don't have to stick with the game plan all the way through. But what you must do in order to gain momentum is you've got to get started. So every single day, you have your vision, you have your dream, you have your goal. You must take at least one step forward. One step forward every single day. If you can do more than that, fantastic. And what you're going to find is that it's going to be a lot like the snowball at the top of the hill that starts off real small and then gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes down the hill. Your momentum will just accelerate for you and you will exponentially achieve more and more and more. Yeah, you're going to run into roadblocks, but once you get that momentum, you're a train going 60 miles an hour. Nothing is going to stop you. You're going to go boom right through the roadblock, right through the obstacle. And I'm going to tell you another one, and this one has to do with me personally. As you may or may not know, technologically speaking, I'm somewhat of a yutz. All right, don't know virtually anything about how to upload or any of that kind of stuff. So what did I do? I formulated the game plan. First I started off, I was going to make a playbook for Eli, and then I was encouraged to start my own channel or write a book. Okay, I'm not writing a book, but what I'm going to do is at least right now, but I did decide to do my own channel. Now, one of the major roadblocks of doing a channel is you kind of have to know a little bit about technology to get it done, don't you? All right, so what did I do? Well, I got all of the things in place to give me a really, really good start, scripting the first 15 plays, so to speak, by having the scripts done for how to have a positive mental attitude, the goal setting, the success formula, sales, marketing, leadership, all of these things, they were already done. So I had them done. So then I decided, all right, I need to get someone to help me to do this. So how do I know, who am I going to find to do this? All right, well, what I essentially did is I just started walking around and I made a commitment to myself that every single day I was going to speak to 4 or 5 people and see if I couldn't find somebody that was interested in what it was I was doing and had the ability to help me. So that meant essentially just like a sales job, knocking on doors, just walking up to people and doing it. So I did that. And it took me a couple of weeks, but finally I found someone that was interested and wanted to help me. Now before that I had found somebody, and this particular person started with me and then went by the wayside. So that happens to everybody. So you can't get discouraged. You keep your focus, keep your vision. You got to keep your mind on what it is you want to do. So I just kept talking to people and kept talking to people and talking to people. And I found Mike, and Mike and I started working together. And Mike introduced me to the lady right now, Amber, who does all of my technological stuff. And Amber, thank you. She does an outstanding job. Appreciate her very much. That's how I get started. All right, so you just went up, you start talking to people, and that was my game plan. That's how I did it. Everything you do, the game plan will change as you're moving forward. You've got to understand that. When you set your goals, when you set your game plan out, it's not written in stone. You're going to make adjustments. That's why it's a plan. Does that make sense? But here's the key thing. Let's get rid of that virus. If you want to get out of the doldrums once we hit the new normal, then get out of the doldrums of procrastination. How do you get out of those? How do you get out of that? By getting to the starting line. You can see the starting line. Get to the starting line. And then once you get to the starting line and you start running the race, make sure that you keep one foot in front of the other. You make a move every single day. And you move forward, and that gives you momentum. So when you hit a roadblock, you're going to be able to continue moving straight ahead. Very simple message today. But a lot of times it's the simple things that keep people from achieving. I see it over and over and over and over again. People are so creative with making excuses. I can't do it because of this, I can't do it because of that, so on and so forth. Change your question. Your question should be, how can I do this? How can I do this? So let's end the procrastination virus by injecting ourselves with something that's going to get us to the starting line and taking a step every single day. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.